Hello, everyone.
Dhanu, ഒരു മിനിറ്റ് നെറ്റ്വർക്കിന്റെ കാരണം is having a problem. Just hold on.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. I welcome you all to the 27th episode of Decoding the Polls, a series of discussions, webinars, and podcasts hosted by Center for Public Policy Research around election times. I'm Sri Lakshmi, research intern CPPR, and your host for the day. Today, our discussion focuses on decoding the minority politics of Kerala, featuring the Dhanuraj, chairman CPPR, and KV Thomas, an esteemed figure with over 36 years of distinguished service in the Intelligence Bureau, Ministry of Home Affairs, Government of India. So in this interview, we aim to delve into the complexities of minority politics in Kerala, a state well known for its vibrant dynamics and diverse cultural fabric. Through the lens of Mr. Thomas's expertise and understanding, we will explore the historical context, key players, and evolving narratives that shape the minority politics of Kerala. I welcome you both to the interview, sir. Let me hand the mic over to Dhanuraj sir to take the conversation further. Thank you.
Thank you, Sri Lakshmi, and thank you, Sir Thomas, sir, for being on this show. And I'm so happy to discuss your expertise area, the area which many are very. We are many. Most of the times when we discuss Kerala politics, and also with respect to BJP's entry into Kerala politics. This has been coming again and again that Kerala may not be a good state for a party like BJP to enter, and the common wisdom is that there is a neutrality factor comes from the majoritarian community with respect to minority communities in Kerala. But I don't want to start from BJP politics or BJP's entry. That is only the contextual reference I'm giving in this conversation because we are approaching the election date in Kerala. But obviously, I'm sure so many in Kerala are interested to know what is happening with the minority politics and how it evolved over a period of time. Who are the major players and what are the main factors in minority politics of Kerala? So, sir, welcome you to the show. And I start with this question. In 1957, I think that was the major milestone in defining Kerala's minority politics. Obviously, in 1957, the state was formed and we had the first general election. And the first communist government, in fact, a democratically elected communist government came into power in Kerala for the first time. And afterwards, with the introduction of education bill moved by the then education minister, Joseph Muntasheri, many of the private managements came together to oppose this bill, the idea of the very essence of this bill. And that led to the infamous liberation struggle, or in Malayalam we say Vimojana Samaram. And I will add one more aspect to this whole development. Even though it was a struggle led by mostly by the Catholic management and minority managements, when we go through the struggles, history, and the leadership of the struggle, I understand that Sri Manath Padmanabhan, the respected NSS leader, was also part of the struggle, opposing the move of Kerala government, introducing this education bill. Later on, and also we know the history. The first government was dismissed by Pandit Nehru's union government. In 1959, President rule was invoked in Kerala. And in 1964, we had this first regional party in Kerala called Kerala Congress. And I'm not relating between the liberation struggle, the Vimojana Samaram, with the formation of Kerala Congress. Of course, there is a context to the formation of Kerala Congress, but many historians have argued that it has also roots in the liberation struggle, Vimojana Samaram. And from there onwards, we have the politics around minorities started. That's my reading. So probably our conversation can start from that point, sir. How do you look at the politics of Kerala of 1960s and 70s, and how our minorities and representative characteristics of minorities in different parties played a role in shaping our political economy of Kerala state?
Thank you, Dr. Dhanuraj and Sri Lakshmi and Paul. We will start because starting from the period 1960 to 70 is a very crucial in Kerala politics. So before going to the historical background of the minority politics in Kerala, let us have some understanding of the demographic profile or population profile of Kerala. As per the 2011 census, out of the total population of Kerala, that is in Christians, Hindus constitute about 55% of the total population, and Christians around 80.3%, and Muslims 26.5%, and rest other groups. So, in the politics of Kerala, these groups, especially these minorities, that is Christians and Muslims, which constitute around 50% of the total population of the total voters, they have a decisive role in determining the fortunes of the various political parties in the elections or in the state. So, coming back to the period 1960s and 1970, as it was revealed that the first communist government was formed in 1957 through a democratic process. When the liberation struggle, it was for the first time, all the major communities in the state, that is Christians, Muslims, and Nair community joined together and have the historic liberation struggle, which unseated the government led by E.M. Mudiripat. So the subsequent elections which held in 1964, the Kerala Congress, which was formed immediately after the ouster of Farshankar from the Kerala government setup and the death of P.T. Chakku, the legendary Christian leader of the Central Travancore, Kerala Congress, which contested the elections, which secured 15 seats in the state assembly. No party could form a single government, and as a result of that, president rule was imposed in the state. Then comes the question of the alliance politics. So going back to the period of 1960s to 70, two key players from the minority side or the minority politics was, one was Kerala Congress and other was the Indian Union Muslim League. So going back to the history of the Indian Union Muslim League, it was a part of the All India Muslim League, which was formed as early as in 1906. Now, a lot of controversies have come on the role of Muslim League in the Indian politics, or especially in the Kerala politics. So the alliance politics for the first time came in 1967. The 1967 was a crucial period, and the 1967 alliance led by the Communist Party, these mainly all the prominent regional parties or the minority parties were brought into the picture. Muslim League got due representation. Then Kerala Congress also got some other group of the Kerala Congress got also due representation. And in 1967, the left government led by the Communist Party could come into power. So that is CPM could come into power. So that was a historical turnout in the history of Kerala, or the political history of all the minority politics of the Kerala. If we analyze the trend, we can see for certain that the Kerala Congress group as well as the Muslim League played a key role in 1967. If you analyze and going back to the emergence of minority politics in Kerala, the 1967 period, especially the government led by Communist Party, played a key role to give a flip for the emergence of minority politics in the state. As you are aware, it was for the first time the Muslim League has got a due share in the governance, and because of these pressure tactics and other things, in 1967, for the first time, a district for a majority district of Muslim, that Malappuram district was formed in 1967, that gave further impetus for the strengthening or augmentation of the minority politics, especially of Muslim League in Kerala. Simultaneously, the Kerala Congress, which has got its main citadels of power in Central Travancore and some part of the northern Kerala, would also exercise a major role in the politics of the state. So Kerala Congress and Muslim League, in nutshell, become pressure politics, played a key pressure politics or the minority politics in Kerala, and that was one of the important turning point in the minority politics of the Kerala. If you analyze it in very closely, we can see that the Muslim League as well as the Kerala Congress, due to their bargaining politics, could get a lot of benefits for their respective communities, that is for Muslims and Christians in the state. That has also created some differences, the mainstream party, particularly in the Congress, but Congress also in the subsequent period, if you analyze, they also adopted a strategy of appeasement politics in order to come into power or to ensure their victory in the major elections, the state elections, whether it will be for the state legislative assembly or to the Lok Sabha.
So, sir, it's very interesting that in 60s, 70s, we have the emergence of these political formations. And one is alliances were formed, coalitions were formed, start from 1967 onwards. And of course, obviously, these groups have got representations in those governments formed subsequently, right? And I have a very out of curiosity, I'm asking this question. We know that P.T. Chokka was, he passed away in a very unfortunate circumstances, and he was stripped of Home Ministry of Congress government that was ruling that time in Kerala. And many say that it was because of the resentment, and many of his followers and his his colleagues of that time, they left Congress party and formed Kerala Congress. But today, when we look back, many say that Kerala Congress represented the minority politics of Kerala, especially representing Christian community by and large that hail from Kottayam, Pathanamthitta, and some part of Ernakulam and all. So, do you think over a period of time, Kerala Congress politics, and of course, the slogans and the discussions around Kerala Congress in the last many decades changed with the farmers' interest, especially the high range farmers? Because if you look at, when we look at Kerala Congress penetration Kerala, that is not only in central Travancore, that's also in some part of Calicut, Kannur districts. And my understanding is that mostly it has to deal with the migration happened in the early 60s and 70s. Those communities migrated to these districts to build up their livelihood. So is it something evolutionary in that process? I mean, for example, for Kerala Congress, the reason for having a party like Kerala Congress, of course, we should not ignore that Kerala Congress in the formative years, or even recently, we have leaders like Balakrishna Pillai. It had the blessings of Mannatha Padmanabhan, and it was not a Christian party to a great extent. But today, many are discussing Kerala Congress by qualifying them or attributing them to give this Christian party. So how do you see this change last many decades?
It's a very pertinent question. The point is that the formation of the Kerala Congress to a great extent was influenced by the politics of 1960s, because Christians were at loggerheads with the Irava community, which was a decisive role during the 1960s politics, especially at the time of the Pattandanulla and subsequently by R7. So these differences within the Congress party, and especially because of the opposition of the section of Congress leaders, Christian Congress leaders against the domination of Irava community, was one of the reasons for the split of the party and the formation of Kerala Congress in 1964. So the impetus for the formation of the party was this 1959 liberation struggle, in which Mannatha Padmanabhan, as you rightly pointed out, has played a very pertinent or a very prominent role. So sections of the Nair community was also attracted towards this regional party of Kerala Congress, and leaders like this K. Narayana Group, then Balakrishna Pillai, etc., joined the party, and they played a key role. But in due course, these main citadels of Kerala Congress were situated in the central Travancore area, and some part of the settlement in the Christian migrated areas, especially of the northern Kerala, like Kasaragod, then Kannur, and Kozhikode. So the Christian domination came to the party. Leaders like that, for example, Balakrishna Pillai and Narayana Group continued in the party and they played a key role. But when the church played a key role in this formation and the subsequent activities of the Kerala Congress, virtually it was become a party of the church, and particularly of Syro Malabar Church. So if you take the complexion of the various denominations of the Christian community in Kerala, it is more than 37% of the total Christians is constitutes the Zero Malabar and has their main bases in the districts of Idiki, Ernakulam, Kottayam, Thrissur, and parts of Kannur. And in this particular Zero Malabar, Roman Catholic is 37%. And they were the main supporters of the Kerala Congress is the formation in 1964. But at the same time, within the Zero Malabar congregation, there are other denominations such as this Latin Church. And this Latin Church having a representation of about 70% of the Christians in Kerala, they had a lukewarm approach for the Kerala Congress, and they stood solidly behind the Congress party. Almost the same was the case with this another denomination of the Zero Malabar Church, that is Malankara Church. Zero Malankara Church, basically having their main influence in the districts of Pathanamthitta and the Trivandrum districts. They also, by and large, remain with the Congress. Then another important denomination of the Christian was that Church of South India. This Church of South India was also having some influence in the parts of southern districts of Kerala like Trivandrum, Kollam and Pathanamthitta. They by and large also supported the Congress. Same was the case with the Orthodox and Jacobite churches, that is the Patriarch and Orthodox churches in Kerala. They together constituted about 17 plus 10 or 11, that is so 28% of the total Christians in the Kerala. Then there are a small denomination. So the point which I want to highlight is that when the Zero Malabar Church, particularly of the Roman Catholic, which has a well-spread organizational network and the hierarchical command, they had close interaction or the nexus with the prominent Kerala Congress leaders from the time of 1964, that is whether it is K.M. Mani or K.M. George or that P.J. Joseph, almost all the leaders were virtually under the control of the Roman Church hierarchy, Roman Catholic Church hierarchy. But here also one pertinent point is that they also thought that as a regional party, they will emerge and become a substitute to the Congress, but that calculation or assessment has now become an illusion because of the fragmentations and split and counter split of the Kerala Congress. So the church hierarchy is now showing a lukewarm response toward the Kerala Congress, which is a party now become dominated by personality-oriented approach in their functioning, and their policies or the programs or their agenda were sidelined. As a result of that, sections of the Christian church, especially of the Roman Catholic Church hierarchy, is also diluted, and they are not giving much importance to Kerala Congress factions in the present political scenario of the Kerala. Presently, here it is a pertinent point to highlight. The attempt of the NDA or Bharatiya Janata Party is to utilize or to make use of this unique political situation in the Kerala. For example, if we assess the political scenario or the voting pattern of the Kerala politics for the last 2-3 elections, Lok Sabha or State Assembly, it is seen that the BJP or NDA, despite their support from the Edava community through the regional party formed at the instance of this Edava community, they could secure a voting percentage of 15%. So the point here is that if they wanted to make further inroads into the state politics, they have to get more percentage of votes, and the support from Muslim community is almost out of question in the present political scenario or national level or state level situation as is prevailing in the country. So they are harping on more hope on this Kerala Congress faction, which otherwise have no consistent policy line, but are dominantly dominated by personality cult or personality interest. And because of the dissolution of the church hierarchy, there is some opportunity for the NDA or BJP to make some inroads into the Christian community through the different factions of the Kerala Congress. Perhaps the first example in this is that the Janapaksham, one of the STL Kerala Congress leader, the PC John, has already joined hands with NDA or BJP, but how long he will continue there or not, that's a different question.
This is very insightful, sir. And before we move into discussing the Muslim minority politics in Kerala, I would like to hear from you one thing. With the emergence of Kerala Congress, how has been the approach of LDF and UDF to Because I know from my reading, Kerala Congress factions were on both sides from time to time. Sometime the Kerala Congress has always, it's been with the UDF most of the times, but when party got split up sometime in late 1970s, the Joseph faction moved with the left parties, and they were also a constituent, and they keep on switching on from one side to other side. But how has been the approach of, I mean, I'm asking a very general question about how has been the approach of UDF or LDF, embracing the Kerala Congress vote bank and also their interests?
It's a very pertinent question in the state politics. If we analyze the alliance politics of Kerala, particularly of the UDF and LDF, the margin of victory in the crucial state assembly elections varies from 2 to 5% or sometimes at the maximum 9%. So both these fronts, led by Congress-led UDF and CPM-led LDF, they, in order to come into power, they have to get the support of the parties like Kerala Congress. That is the main factor which prompt these parties or the mainstream parties like Congress or CPM to have some alliance with the one faction or other faction of the Kerala Congress. If you closely analysis, as you pointed out, from the time of 1964 or 1967 onwards, one faction or other faction of the Kerala Congress was either aligned with the UDF or LDF, and it to a greater extent was endorsed by the church also. That is also a great point of interest, because church has got its own wisdom or its own interest. It have some say in the power structures or the ruling dispensation of the state. So in order to make use of them, they motivated the prominent Kerala Congress leaders with whom they have close rapport to come into power or to join either with UDF or LDF. So as a result of that, the community as such could get some benefit. That was the interpretation created by the church hierarchy and the Kerala Congress. To a certain extent, in the case of settlers, or in the case of the agrarian economies, of the issues in the agrarian economy, for example, the price of rubber, one of the major products in Kerala. Kerala Congress from time to time could exert some pressure to and make use of their presence, the presence of their leaders or ministers in the subsequent government. To that effect, if you, for example, one of the prominent leaders who had subsequently joined the NDA, who contested, who was a prominent leader in Kerala, one of the Kerala Congress faction, but subsequently when he went to Delhi, became an MP, and subsequently became a minister, despite under an NDA government. So even though he became a minister, the church continued to maintain good rapport or excellent relations with that particular MP or minister, in order to protect the interests of the church or to a large extent the Christian community, so specifically the Roman Catholic Church community or layman or the church in the state. So in that process, the church by and large was not against the Kerala Congress faction, going with LDF or UDF or even we can say for NDA. So that is one point which we have to take into. But during this process, one advantage was for LDF or CPL LDF was there. For example, if you take the case of the Kerala politics or minority politics of the 60s or 70s, there was a general impression from the church hierarchy that Christians should not cooperate with atheists. That is, communists are basically atheists against the religion. But by middle 70s or the early 80s, that thinking was gone because of the sharing of power with the Kerala Congress with the CPM-led governments or LDF in the state, that CPM could some advantage in order to create an impression the sections of Christian laymen that they are not against the Christianity or religion. That is one of the factors which help for the CPM or LDF to make inroads within the Christian community, that their strategy is still going on. In that respect, NDA or BJP is also playing the same game in order to win sections of the Christian community by winning over one faction or other faction of the Kerala Congress, as a result of which they can increase their percentage of votes in Kerala from 15% to some 20 or 25% and demonstrate their political clout or electoral victory in the subsequent elections.
So I have a question reflecting on what you answered. Recently, Kerala Congress M Kerala Congress Mani group joined LDF. And 2021 assembly elections, many claim that it is because of KCM move, CPM was able to win so many more seats, and they were able to retain power for the first time in Kerala history. And but many political pundits say that if you analyze the numbers, it's not correct. That much of movement of votes were not happening with the move with the Kerala Congress M moving to LDF fold. How do you look at it? Because that's very important, especially we have a very closely contested election, Kottayam parliamentary constituency, where both Kerala Congress factions are contesting after a long time. I think last time it was sometime in 1982, if I'm not wrong, 84. But after a long gap in a parliamentary constituency, two Kerala Congress factions are coming face to face. And so do you think KCM move actually helped LDF to strengthen their position in central Travancore?
It's a very pertinent and interesting question. The point is that here, as I already pointed out, that because of alignment with the different factions of the Kerala Congress, the LDF or CPM from time to time could make some inroads to a Christian community, particularly the youth and the progressive sections of the youth in the Christian community, and different denominations of the Christian community. So, the joining of the Kerala Congress Mani in the 2021 elections, it has partially helped this consolidation of LDF and their victory. And if you analyze the 2021 elections, when the rival Kerala Congress Joseph group that or the Janadipatya Kerala Congress Flinders group from formed from Kerala Congress Joseph group, they contested the election, they could not fare well. For example, in the case of Janadipatya Kerala Congress, they could only one seat, they could win the Anthony Raju, only one seat, and subsequently he became the minister. Joseph group also could not fare well. But on the contrary, the leaders who aligned with LDF and contested the elections, they could win the elections for it. That is mainly due to their personal. That is why I say partially it helped the LDF to improve their electoral prospect. If you analyze the 2021 election, another major trend is also emerging. For example, it was for in the history of Kerala or electoral politics of the history of Kerala, it is for the first time the LDF could secure as much as about 39 or 40% of votes of Christian or Muslim community. So it is to some extent the joining of Kerala Congress Mani helped the victory of LDF, securing some 99 seats. But equally important is that they could also make some inroads into the Muslim community. The minority politics of the Muslim community, their appeasing strategy or their identification with the various Muslim groups, that helped them to improve their voting percentage in the Muslim community. And some analyzed by CDS, it is about 39% of the Muslim vote in 2021 was gone in favor of LDF. That is for the first time in the history of Kerala. That has improved the prospects for the victory of LDF candidates in a number of northern districts. Say, for example, in Malappuram district, they have won 4 seats, 4 assembly seats they won. So, as you pointed out that there was only some nominal or partial impact on the fortunes or electoral fortunes of LDF in improving their positions in 2021 because of the joining of Mani Congress, but as well as at the same time, their success or their strategy or tactics to make inroads into the Muslim community also helped them to consolidate their positions and improve their electoral prospects in 2021 assembly elections.
Okay. Now you touched upon Muslim League and Muslim voters' behavior in the last election. So let's discuss on how Muslim minority politics evolved in Kerala since 1960s.
Yes, if you analyze the Muslim minority politics, it starts with the formation of the All India Muslim League in 2000, in 1906. 1906, the All India Muslim League was formed at the Dhaka. So they played a decisive role in the formation of Pakistan, and controversy is still going on. We need not touch upon that. And the counterpart of All India Muslim League in the Kerala or in the Madras, the Chennai, or that is Tamil Nadu, it was formed in 1937, the Indian Union Muslim League was formed. So since the formation of the Muslim League, they could not get the support. That is, Indian Union Muslim League, they could not get the support of any major political party in India or any in Kerala in particularly in India. Say, for example, in 1957, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, when campaigned for the Congress in different parts of the South India, and including Kerala, he highlighted that parties like the parties which are formed on communal lines will be a threat to the secular fabric of the country. So directly in the sense that he or the Congress at that time was not favoring this emergence of a party, pure or Muslim party, just like IUM. That is why subsequently Nehru himself was described the Muslim League as a dead horse in the state politics or the national politics of Kerala. That is one aspect. But Muslim League played their strategy in such a way in Kerala to improve their status or their base. For example, at the time of this socialist party led by Pattandanulla, they have collaborated with the PSP and they became a speaker. That created some sort of differences within the Congress party. Then differences sharp. This propaganda Congress was also not taking this Muslim League in its good spirit because they feared that there should be a backlash from the majority community if they give too much importance to this thing. This phenomenon continued. So this IUML was really in a dilemma or political dilemma till 1967. So the period of 1967 was crucial, or we say it has enhanced the fortunes of Indian Union Muslim League. And their alliance with the CPM that helped them to shed their image of untouchability. EMS Namboodiripad accommodated them, considered many of their demands, tried to sort out the discriminations meted out by the Muslims in Kerala, and most importantly, this 1967, the CPM government was formed in the Malappuram district, which is now having more than 75% of the Muslims district. From that time onwards, it was steeply the graph of the Muslim League or Indian Muslim League has gone up in the state politics or even in the national politics. That was an important thing. So many of the interests of the Muslim community to a great extent could be protected by that 1967 LDF government, as a result of which they demonstrated their fallout in the state politics. If you analyze the subsequent development in the Muslim politics of Kerala, we can say for certain that except for a brief period of 1987 to 1991, one faction or other faction of the league that were Muslim, representing the Muslim community had shared power in the state. And even in 2004, the Indian Muslim League has got an opportunity to share power in the center in the UPA government. E. Ahmad was a state minister holding a very important portfolio in 2004 UPA government. Not only that one, many prominent leaders of the then Indian Union Muslim League, such as Ibrahim Sulaiman said, or G.M. Benatwala, they could be well accommodated at the various national and international forum because as a representative of Indian government, Sulaiman said a number of times was presented this OIC, that is Organization of Islamic Conference, and took a stand on the case of Indian Muslims, sometimes even deviating from the foreign policy or the line of approach of the then government in the power. All these factors considerably contributed to the clout or the importance of this thing. For example, except a brief period of 1987 to 1991, one faction or the other faction of the league was in power that has substantially helped them to improve their status in the state politics. And that is the main fact. So if we come into the politics of the league or the more specifically Indian Union Muslim League, they are mainly getting their bulk of the support from the sections of Muslims, that is Sunni Muslims. If we analyze, for example, the 26.56% of the Muslims in Kerala, which according to some projected estimates, that is a 2011 census, according to some projected estimates or projections, this figure will be around 28 or 29% of the total state population. So if that, the Sunnis are the main support of the Muslim League. In the Sunni faction, if you take, for example, more than 97% of the total Muslims in Kerala belong to Sunni faction. And they remain the solid supporters of the Indian Union Muslim League from time to time. because of various reasons, because the ulemas were the religious power centers of IUML from time to time. So the Samastha Kerala Jamiatul Ulema was that the powerful body that was formed in 1936, which controlled the league or have some mutual understanding with the party, and that the formation of Samastha helped the emergence of this LD, because of the ulemas had a considerable influence for the period from 1936 even for up to 1967, even the laymen of the Muslims or the Sunnis of Kerala. And other groups are insignificant, Shias, Ahmadiyas, and other are insignificant, and they cannot play any role in this thing. But here, that is very important development that helped the Muslim League to consolidate their position. But some challenges have now come to IUML from various corners, which we will discuss later.
We also had CH as Chief Minister of Kerala. I know the political circumstances in which he was, he was elevated to Chief Ministership. But that shows that Muslim League was a powerful political force to reckon with in late 70s itself. But I'm also wondering if you could run through 1985, M.V. Raghavan, a prominent CPM leader of that time, probably the future Chief Minister of Kerala, had to leave CPM because he had this ideological paper on an accommodating league to the left fold. And when I discussed this matter with other political scientists, they say that this was also supported by leaders like EMS Namboodiripad. I may be wrong in my observation, but this is what I have been told by many. And this was also supported by V.S. Achuthanandan, but finally M.V. Raghavan became the victim or scapegoat in the process. But now we see the present leadership is also trying to be very close, as you said, 2021 and in 2019, 2014 elections, 2014, 2016, 2019 elections, state as well as parliament elections. We see that CPM is fielding so many independent candidates, especially those who actually left Muslim League. And even now, I mean, in this election also, I see that in constituencies, Left Democratic Front have fielded candidates. They were with Muslim League earlier. So there is a conscious attempt by left parties in Kerala to, I mean, especially CPM, to be very close with Muslim voters, or they want to pocket those votes. How do you see that change from 1985 to 2024? I see a significant change in the approach of left party's leadership to Muslim League politics and Muslim minority vote bank. And I would like you to run through. I know it was also a turbulent time in Indian politics because 1992 Babri Masjid demolition, and later on in early 2000 we had the invasion. Because I see this thing, and when I was a college student, even Saddam Hussein, when he was killed in an operation by the US. Kerala had a band. So this all has something to do with the politics and vote bank and, of course, sharing the sympathy and values. But I see a lot of political moorings in those decisions by left, both CPM and Congress parties from time to time. How do you see minority politics evolve in the last 30 years in Kerala?
Yes, that it is definitely that the major mainstream parties are always interested to have some sort of tactical understanding or alliance with the Muslim League from time to time. As you pointed out, even the elevation of the CH Muhammad Goya as the chief minister for a brief period of 53 days or something, it was because of the power politics to appease the Muslim community or to have some sort of understanding with the Muslim leaders or Muslim League that led to this one. So, the approach of Congress or CPO or LDF to have better understanding with IUML is just like the strategy I already pointed out of a BJP or NDA trying to have to make some inroads into the voters of Kerala through the Christian community with the splinter parties of representing that community, just like Kerala Congress. So, you mentioned about that the critical period, for example, the alternative political line that has created a lot of controversy in the state CPM politics. That was the ultimately that M.V. Raghavan became a victim, and he formed the CMP, the Communist Marxist Party of India, and contested the elections. That's a different question. So, the question of alternative political line, it was a 50-50 marginally contested ideological conflict in CPM. So many prominent leaders, even it is that 10 or 12 leaders, prominent state or central level leaders who endorsed the alternative political line, included senior leaders like E.K. Nayanar and others. And even there were speculations that the alternative political line will be finally accepted by the Central Committee and PB, but it's a very narrow margin that decision was voted out in the crucial party congress held at that time. So coming to that, what exactly is the alternative political line? The alternative political line propounded by M.V. Raghavan was that the party sitting or CPM or LDO sitting in as an opposition is a futile political exercise. They should make use of political opportunities to come to power by toppling the then UDF government. So, M.V. Raghavan and his C.K. Chakravani and a set of leaders endorsing the alternative political line, and they suggested that the parties like IUML and Kerala Congress are willing to come into their camp and they are willing to share power. So why should we be reluctant? We make use of these political opportunities, this tactical opportunity to get the support of the IUML or Kerala Congress MLAs and topple the then UDF government and come to power. So this has become one of the major ideological conflict within the party. For example, if you take the background of Kerala politics, in 1975, such an attempt was made by the party. It is for the first time the Indian Union Muslim League was divided and another party was formed, All India Muslim League leaders like E.T. Muhammad Bashir and others at that time. They joined and they formed All India Muslim League. That was a major attempt made by the EMS Moderator to make inroads into the Muslim community and increase the influence of the CPM. But that strategy has not succeeded. That because of the so many state and national level political developments and the appeasement strategy adopted by the mainstream parties with the Muslim League, in 1987, again, this All India Muslim League rejoined the IUML camp. So in that respect, both the parties, Congress party as well as CPM from time to time is making efforts to have better rapport with the IUML in order to have to safeguard or secure their electoral politics and coming to power. For example, from time to time, LDF, despite their rhetoric or propaganda that they have no compromise with the communal or sectarian forces, they always compromise. For example, those who are in the LDF, with the IUML camp or Congress camp, they were successfully withdrawn from that party and fielded as candidates for the first time, the T.K. Hamza. T.K. Hamza was fielded for the first time from Ponnani constituency and they captured the seat. Well, similarly, in the recent 2021 elections or even the recent election of upcoming elections in Lok Sabha also, they are also trying on independence with having some support in the Muslim community so that their electoral victory could be improved. So the ideology will not play much a role in this particular thing. So always this attempt is there to increase the influence of the party or the vote base of the party in the minority, including the Muslim, for which the IUML is playing a very, for example, CPM is playing a very significant role from time to time. So this strategy is still continued. And presently also, the CPM is trying to make inroads into the IUML or the Muslim community as such through various national and international issues. For example, as you pointed out, whether it is in the case of the killing of Saddam Hussein or the Hamas, the Palestine issue, or the various issue for the Hagia Sophia controversy, or that is in the national issues like that Citizenship Amendment Act or Uniform Civil Code. They are consistently taking a line to appease the Muslim community and stand to identifying with the Muslim community. It to some extent has succeeded also. For example, as I pointed out that the main support of the Louis is the Sunnis and their main body of Samasta Kerala, Jamiatul Ulayam. But In 1989, the Samasta Kerala Jamiatul Ulama has undergone a split. And Samasta Kerala Jamiatul Ulama, that AP faction, AP Kantapura Abubakar Musliar was formed, and the Kantapura Abubakar Musliar, despite their opportunist politics, he is having a pro-life trend. On many crucial state and Lok Sabha elections, he sided with the LDF. That has also considerably contributed to the victory of LDF in many northern districts of Kerala. Northern districts of Kerala, because they have some good following. The SKJU AP faction has got some good following in them. Same is the case with now the developing controversy or schism within the Samasta. Within the Samasta also some sort of controversy is now developing, which the CPM tries to make use of their political advantage. For example, Samasta is the power center of IUML. Now, the Jeffrey Mutikoyatangal, he is now having some sort of discordance with the leadership of IUML leadership. His main argument is that an ulema organization like Samasta Kerala Jamiatul Ulama cannot function as a subterfuge or subservient to the interests of any political party, say, for example, IUML or Congress. It has gone in its own independent ideology. That is why there's leaders like Jeffrey Mutikoyatangal is now taking an independent line, considerably deviating from the line earlier followed by Samasta in many issues, especially in the political issues. But there is also a rival faction within the Samasta, which argue that this Samasta and IUML should go hand in hand, and from time to time, Samasta should accept the leadership of Panakkad or the leadership of the IUML. That is for the larger interests of that. This system within the Samasta has created some scope for the CPM or left parties to make inroads in the Muslim community, especially in the Sunni Muslims. And same is the case with the Mujahid. Another very prominent Mujahid is also part of the Sunni denomination or the Sunni caste, but the only thing is that they have some sort of differences with the Sunnis of Samasta on religious practices. So in the Kerala Nadwatul Mujahideen is also now facing a crisis. They are the main apex body of Mujahids. That is Kerala Nadwatul Mujahideen is also facing some sort of crisis, organizational crisis in the party because of many issues. Because some two main factions are already in existence. One led by Hussein Madaur and the other is Abdullah Koy Madani is there. So the point here is that the Muslim community is the monolithic religious center or religious character of the Muslim community has now lost. The ulemas are also thinking in different direction. And the laymen are also thinking in different direction. Ordinary workers of the League or the Muslim community is also having their own perceptions. For example, the Harida controversy. Harida controversy evoked by the literate or these progressive ladies or women of the party or girls is that the party should come out of this old obscurantic practices. That is giving. For example, in the history of the IUML, no single lady or single woman was sent to Kerala Assembly and FML. So the ladies and educated ladies are frustrated on the leadership because some obscurantic leadership is following in order to interest the sections of Muslim community, especially the rich and the business community. So the party is also facing internal crisis as well as the great challenges at the national level because of the policies and programs adopted by the central government, which we will discuss later.
That's very insightful, sir. And one statement by Sri A.K. Antony when he was Chief Minister of Kerala was, Kerala politics is actually in the custody of minorities. And subsequently tried to explain by saying that institutions, their wealth and education as well as health institutions, and it made a huge outcry in Kerala. He was. Congress party also was at the receiving end for some time. So I see as a student of political science, I see this way. In a democratic institutional setup, communities are trying to get represented by forming political organizations so that their voice is heard in government or their interests are taken care of by government. So how do you see? This was sometime in early 2000. We are in 2024. Do you think that discussion is still very much in the political discourse of Kerala that minorities are playing a very crucial role in influencing the political outcome and even the state outcomes at times. What do you think?
This statement was made by a candidate in 2003 on his return from Delhi, and it's created a lot of controversy. The statement made by a candidate was that these minorities using their organized force should not use us for collective bargaining. The undue demands, because a lot of demands were raised by minorities, particularly from both the Christian and the Muslim community, and through the representative parties in the government. That was one of the issues raised by a candidate at that time. It was a pertinent issue because of so many demands. For example, in the case of the successive governments, which I pointed out, that Muslims, despite getting more representations or the ministers or more MLAs or more seats at the state assembly and Lok Sabha, they continue to have more and more demands. They came out with more and more demands. Same is the case with the Christian community through Kerala Congress also there. So you write that it is reasonably every community and their representative parties have the role to safeguard the interests of their laymen or the community as such. But when that is used as a pressure tactics to incapacitate or to compel a particular government or the structure, a political structure, to yield to their demands, that will create a lot of problem. For example, how it will take on the majority community. That is the main point which at that time that I had to highlight by a candidate, because so much criticism was then in 2003 as well as in the present context, because of the appeasement policies or the minoritism which BJP or Sangh Parivar organization described. The minoritism has created a lot of controversy at the national and state politics. So undue demands for particular community or the sections of the community or the particular caste, that should be discouraged. That is the main thing. So coming to 2014 time, the statement of, I think formally the statement of Mr. Antony has become irrelevant, because whether it is the Congress party or it is the CPM, they're yielding to the demands of these main communities. For example, Kerala Congress group or in the same or say, so forget about these parties. Even the national parties are also keen, because of the even the NDA or BJP parties are in their attempt to appease the Christian community. They are also making some sort of conversions or change, some subtle change in their policy. For example, when a prominent bishop was made a statement to the effect that if the rubber growers in Kerala get rupees 350 per kg of rubber, they will send BJP MPs. That was welcomed by so many BJP MPs. That attitude was also welcomed. For example, it's some sort of pressure tactics, because using the rubber as a pressure tactics to influence the parties is there. There are genuine problems of rubber growers, we agree. But that should not be politicized as a means, as a pressure tactics to influence a particular government or the party is not a correct approach. So the next day, some other, for example, coconut growers can come up with such demand. Paddy growers can come up with that. Cocoa growers pepper growers can come up with such a demand. So in the larger spectrum, we have to see the issues. So now the Antony statement in 2003 has become relevant because now political parties are running after to appease the mainstream or regional parties in order to secure their vote banks. So this should be the contrast that happened in 2003 and 2014 is a different political scenario that is emerging in Kerala, and national level also the same situation is repeated.
Okay. And I will leave you with one more question. You know, I think as we discuss minority politics in Kerala, something that I've been observing last many years is the clergy and church leadership is upfront. I don't think that was the case in 70s and 80s. They come on television channels, and it's not the political party leadership, in fact, demanding their interests, but it's basically the community leadership, clergy or the church leadership. They are at the forefront negotiating with other political parties. That is one. Second, we had so many stalwarts, or probably the leaders like Umman Chandi, K.M. Mani, or I would say V.S. Achudan. He has taken political retirement from active politics. He retired from the active politics. Even Sri A.K. Anthony, he is retired from active politics. So when I talk to these community leaders, sometimes I get a feel that they're also trying to figure out the new leaders who could protect their interests, both in Trivandrum and Delhi. And obviously, these two minorities are also facing the challenge of not having a favorable government in Delhi for last 10 years. So I'm sure this could influence in the coming elections. Probably, this is my last question. How do you see in this context of not a favorable government in Delhi, and also the retirement or passing of many of these leaders who were actually very protective of the interest of minorities in Kerala, how politics are going to evolve in 2024 elections? Minority politics is going to evolve in 2024 elections.
There is a transition in the regional or minority politics in Kerala, especially during the last 10 years, mainly influenced because of the presence of a government at the center, which is not endorsing or not in line with the demands or in line with the aspirations of the minority in the state. So that has also influenced the thinking of minority hierarchy, religious hierarchy as well as political hierarchy, how this situation can be overcome. Side by side, another point, as you rightly pointed out, is a vacuum in leadership. For example, the leaders like V.S. Achudanandan was a great fighter, for example, in Madhikattan area, on the question of eviction of settlers or environmental issues. And wherever any people's issues or marsh issues or environmental issues, he was in the forefront and was some source of assistance or help to the people, of the affected people. So he is now in the political retirement. Same was the case with the K. Karnad at Vandal in the 70s, 80s, even 2000s. For example, he has got excellent clout or excellent influence with the central leadership of the Congress in Delhi and could move the things in line with the aspirations of the particular minority or other community. That has happened on so many instances. So the same was the case with A.K. Anthony, who is considered to be a very clean leader with having an ideological halo, which to a certain extent was a source of inspiration from all sections of the people. The case of Umman Chandi was also same because he was a people's leader, taking up all the issues at a time. For example, as you say, the very serious split in the Syro Jacobite Church, the Orthodox and the Jacobite Church, and he belongs to one particular faction of the church. But despite his loyalty to that particular faction of the church, he was always keen to address the grievances of the other faction of the church to a great extent that would give much relief to the factions. But so this factionalism within that Syro Jacobite Church, Orthodox and Patriarch faction is now in an acute stage. Both the central government is also trying to make some inroad. For example, NDA or BJP is also meddling with the issue on the basis of the recent Supreme Court judgment endorsing the 1934 constitution of the Unified Church favoring the Orthodox faction. So there also some attempt is made to make some inroads. So, and we say almost all the political leaders, whether it is V.S. Achudanandan or Umman Chandi or A.K. Anthony or K. Karnathan or E.K. Nayanar, they could not, they have their own personality or equations with the central state leaders and different community and different leaders and make the main of some of the main of the demands of these communities, genuine demands of the communities fulfilled from time to time. That situation has considerably lost now. The new generation of leaders, whether in any party in Kerala, they cannot have such an equation with the community leaders, or say, for example, the central leadership, or say the present government in power, because of rethinking or a transition in the regional or minority politics is in the offing. For example, many of the prominent church leaders have already gone to Delhi many times, had interaction with the Prime Minister or the senior leaders of the NDA or BJP in order to highlight their demands. And even the dispute in the Syrian Jacobite Church between the Orthodox and Patriarch faction, leaders are seeking the intervention of the central and state leaders. So the point is that leaders which have the potential to tackle such problems are lacking in the state. That may perhaps lead to a transition in the minority politics because of the pressure within the organization, on parties like UML or different factions of Kerala Congress. A transition or change in the minority politics is in the offing. The question here is that how far the Congress as a mainstream party, which has always been enjoying the support of these minorities group, able to mobilize them under their flag. Same question, another equally important question is that in the leftists, particularly CPM, which are making persistent efforts to make inroads into the minorities, how far they will succeed in their made, particularly highlighting the various issues within the state, national and international issues. And third question of relevance in the transition of minority politics in Kerala is that how far BJP and NDA, that is by no more Kerala is in bipolar politics, now it's a tripolar politics. How far BJP and NDA will work out a strategy or tactics to influence or increase their vote percentage while moving the minorities, notably the Christians, through their representative bodies or church bodies. These are the three major questions when we analyze the minority politics in Kerala with a particular reference to the forthcoming Lok Sabha election. All these three trends will definitely reflect in the forthcoming elections, especially in the Christian-dominated constituencies, where the serious contest will be taking place between UDF, LDF, and NDF. In many constituencies, where this minority vote will be a decisive factor, and how far these three parties, Congress-led UDF and CPM-led LDF and BJP-led NDA, how they will tackle this question and how successfully they will work out the strategy or tactics to make inroads into these particular minorities, notably Christians and minorities. With this, I think we can conclude the today's talk. Or any more questions, Dr. Dhanuraj can come on.
No, sir. It was a very wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for taking us through last, I think you touched 6 decades of minority politics, discussed 6 decades of minority politics in Kerala. And I'm sure some of the questions that you asked towards the end of this conversation, we could see some trends in 2024 elections. At least we get some indications how minority politics are, which direction it is heading to. And with that, I conclude this conversation. Over to you, Sri Lakshmi.
Doctor, thank you.
Thank you all,
Doctor. And thank you, Sri Lakshmi, and thank you, Mr. Ford. Yes, Sri Lakshmi again. Yes.
Thank you, sir. I thank you all for this insightful discussion on the discourse of minority politics in Kerala. And the discourse on minority politics in Kerala is crucial not only for understanding the landscape of Kerala, but also to raise the issues of representation, inclusivity, and social cohesion. So stay tuned to our YouTube channel for more upcoming videos where we will delve deeper into the evolving landscape of Indian democracy and analyze the latest trends that shape the electoral politics. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more engaging contents. So until next time, stay tuned, stay engaged and informed. Thank you.